G'day everybody, welcome back to Dune Awakening. Hope you're all doing well. In the previous episode, we finally constructed all of the pieces of armor that we want for the endgame. So we're almost there. I was sort of just thinking maybe we'll want to wait until we get at least the replica pulse sword or something like that before we challenge some tougher areas. But I am currently feeling a little bit risk averse, just in case something really bad happens. I don't want to lose any of this. So it might not be a bad idea, just since we're not going to the deep desert right now, to throw this all in storage. And yeah, we just continue using, I would say for today, we probably want the still suit, because we're not really going to be doing a lot of fighting. If we do some fighting, I'll obviously need to go back and make another change, but this'll do for now. And I'm going to do a couple of things in this episode, which is to do some decorating, obviously, because there's a bit more of that we need to do. But also to do, well, our last kind of tidy up of various missions. We probably will need a few episodes to get through some of these, but I do want to just try and get through all of them. So the first one is this logistical issues. We need to go out to the deep desert. We need to construct some foundations, walls, and roof pieces. So it shouldn't really be much of an issue. The only thing is I will need to bring some of these materials, so I may as well grab them right now. So plastone, if I can figure out where I'm keeping some plastone, that'd be good. I think maybe we might have some plastone in the manufacturing tower. There's a little bit over there. That's not much at all. Yeah, I don't see any here. Perhaps maybe I just need to go to the manufacturing tower and grab some from there. So bear with me, guys. And then once we're done, we'll head out to the deep desert. We'll do these construction requirements, and then we'll move on, perhaps maybe to another mission, because I don't think this is going to take too long. Storage. Huh. Where is all of my plastone? 1 second. Do I not have... Oh, okay. I don't even have a lot of plastone on us. So there's a batch of plastone somewhere, but I might need to craft... Let's do like 3 batches. But yeah, I do need quite a bit of plastone, and I also think I'm gonna need some duraluminum very shortly to construct a few things. Alright, so it's gone into storage somewhere. I'm gonna need to figure out where this is. Oh, that's right. I've got some big containers upstairs in the Assault Ornithopter hangar. So it could be up here. Yeah, this becomes a bit of an issue when you're not entirely sure how certain products appear, or where they go after they've been manufactured. I think there's probably a way to control some of that, so that it, you know, populates certain storage containers before others. But for the most part, I've not really had a need to do that. And since we're, you know, doing all of our construction here, most of the time we're just pulling from wherever we need to. Okay, off to the deep desert. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Righto guys, we have arrived at the deep desert, I believe we can just drop this base, this temporary base, anywhere we want. Although we do need to create a sub-thief, and I've forgotten to bring some metals with me. So we're going to need to do something about that. Let's see. Can I split that? And I'll split a little bit more. I just want to drop a little bit, because we don't need heaps of metal, I don't think. But if I just drop, say, this amount, I should now be able to just quickly grab myself some metal from the area. I probably don't even need to salvage that, because the sub-thief doesn't really take much at all. Oh, actually, no. It needs a little bit more than what we've just picked up. There we go. Alright, so we should be able to place a sub-thief down. Again, it doesn't need to be an advanced sub-thief, I don't think. And I'm pretty sure we can just drop this base anywhere we want. Hopefully there's no requirement to actually keep the base going for missions, because I don't really want to have to maintain a base out in the deep desert, to be honest. It seems very, very time-consuming and cumbersome, so yeah, maybe we can just perch a temporary base up here. Doesn't seem like a bad idea. So sub-thief is down. Now we should be able to just place what we need. So 4 foundations. Yeah, why not? Let's go for 1 piece right there. And then that should complete it, right? So, and then 7 walls and a door. We may as well widen this space a little bit. And then we go with some walls. We need a door as well, right? So and I might move this so that it's a little bit more central. And then we do these walls. What kind of walls do we want? I have no idea. Since we're not really keeping this place, I guess we don't really need to think about it too hard. But perhaps maybe being able to see outside isn't such a bad idea. If we do need to keep this place for whatever reason, you know. And just to mix things up a little bit, we'll do something else. Something like that. Alright, so at least 4 roof pieces need to go on top of this base. Sure. Shouldn't be hard. I think even adding floor pieces would do the trick. But I think we'll actually put some roofs. Can be a little bit tricky here, so let's do... Yeah, I might need to... I want to make the place look a little bit nicer. at the risk of spending too much time with it. Let me demolish that. I need... What am I looking for? I think they're roof pieces. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So I'm wanting to just guide some of these pieces in, if I can. Oh no! Okay. Absolute blunder. Let me put a pillar here. I wonder if that'll help hold things. No, it doesn't. Okay. That's very strange indeed. Well, let's go back. And... place this back down. Okay. I mean, temporary base is done. I don't really need to continue. But I was going to... perhaps maybe add a little bit more like that. Yeah. Can I demolish that? Yeah, I can. Can I get rid of that? I can. And everything seems to hold very nicely. Don't need any additional pillars or anything like that, so... there you go. Temporary base is done. We probably have to pay for this. Every so often through taxes, which will be kind of annoying to deal with. But I think I do have enough money to sustain it at least a little bit, just in case we need to keep this base going for whatever reason. It doesn't say that you need to maintain it though, so I could perhaps maybe get rid of it when I want to. But let's not rush into it. I'll leave it for the time being. Our little home away from home, holiday home. I don't know if you would call coming out to the deep desert a holiday, but there it is. Nice and quaint. Alright, time to go back and we'll continue on with maybe one or two other missions before jumping straight back into decorating. Righto guys, we are back in the Haga Basin. As you can see, I've got my boosters on just to zip around a little bit quicker while we do some of these smaller errands. We do need to make this Regis missile launcher, so I am hoping that I have the materials required to actually get it done pretty quickly. So let's check out the weapons bench. Oh, you know what? While we're at it, and we're about to go down to the hangar once more, I think it might not be a bad idea for us to move some of these things over to the, let's call it the workshop location. Because originally, and you know, in hindsight, I could have perhaps moved a lot of our fabricators to the manufacturing tower. There's plenty of space over there. But I guess we've already moved stuff over here, which is okay. There's also a lot of storage here, alright? So I suppose I could keep it consistent and just have manufacturing, including fabrication, in one location if I really wanted to. But I don't know. I kind of like having all of these things being in the hangar. Somehow it seems appropriate, but yeah, so we'll do that. We'll move this a little bit more that way. We could probably squeeze in a little bit more storage. That side probably can't take any more storage. But anyway, we should have enough space for our recycler here as well. So let me just quickly grab that. But yeah, with us moving a whole bunch of stuff from the manufacturing tower, I'm thinking we could decorate the manufacturing tower a little bit more so it's not purely manufacturing. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do here just yet. I mean, we've got water, we've got... Do we even need the medium ore refinery? I feel like I'm not really doing anything with it. And also the small chemical refinery. We could probably get rid of both of those and just have the water. Obviously I do need the spice refinery, but this will eventually get replaced with the large one that we're planning to get, so maybe we could utilize this space as, again, a bit of a space for decorating and all that sort of stuff. I mean, I've not really done well with trying to decorate spaces in a short amount of time. I feel like I take ages to decorate spaces, so at my own peril, it's going to be another large area where I'm gonna need to think about decorating stuff in. So we'll see how that goes. Placement blocked by another object. Kidding me. Alright, let's squeeze it in here in that case. I'm sure we'll be able to make it work. There we go. And we can just push it back a little bit. Perfect. Alright. Yeah, that's a very tight squeeze. I think I might scoot this over a little bit more to the left. Yeah, give things a little bit of space to breathe. Okay, so, geez, what were we here to do? We're here to make a Regis missile launcher. So, should be something we can do from here, right? Missiles. Regis missile launcher. So, I only need the one. Doesn't even need duraluminum. Oh, it needs plastanium. Yeah. And then we need to make some missiles as well, right? So I think you get a batch. So you get 10. I think we might need 20. So if we just craft a couple of batches, that'll be good. And we need to use it to fight with, right? So I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. So how can we play around with this? I reckon we just slot that into there. So instead of using the drill shot, we'll have the missile launcher to play around with, and we'll try to kill a whole bunch of enemies with it. So we better get going. having difficulty trying to get out of there. I'm just looking for our landing pad here. I'm sort of having a think about the space here, but there is an opportunity to build some staircases that would lead to the side landing pads from the ornithopter hangar. I think that would be a good use of space. But yeah, let's come back to construction later. So let's grab our ornithopter and gonna make our way out to fight some enemies. I did end up in the previous episode, I was mentioning to you guys, you know, perhaps maybe we could get the replica pulse sword, and I did manage to get it at the cost of those pistons. So I'm keen on trying to find a few more. So these Atreides strongholds are a decent location for that, and for us to also play around with the missile launcher as well. So 2 birds with 1 stone. Let's get to it. Again, I don't really know how effective these things are, but so if enemies are... Oh no! I completely forgot about turning our shields on. Whoopsie. Let's just quickly heal up. So yeah, I've never played around with the missile launcher before, so I am getting absolutely destroyed here. Oh my goodness. Please. You know what? I think the problem that I'm having is the missile launcher slows us down quite a bit. Alright. Just needed that breathing space. Okay, let's try this again. So, it does seem like enemies with shields can't be downed that easily. No target lock on. Okay. So you need to lock on to targets first. That one completely whiffed. Yeah, okay. We're not really having luck with trying to kill shielded enemies. But perhaps, maybe what we could do is we could kill some of the scouts. And if that proves problematic, we could always try to kill weaker enemies to try and achieve the objective. Alright, let's just deal with the heavy first, the normal way. Oh yes, and now that I think about it, we are wearing the still suit, that's why we're dying so quickly. So, maybe this is not the best location to be testing out this weapon. Okay, one more heavy in there. We'll try and draw him out. Perfect. Alright. Yeah, I don't know if I really like the missile launcher, because you're really exposed when you need to wait for so long to get a lock on, and I don't think it's worth it. Like, even in situations like that's pretty devastating. Can we get like 2 of them in one? Yeah, I mean, the explosion is big enough to kill both of them, so that's pretty cool. I don't think it'd be that useful in, like, a true PvE situation in the deep desert, though. That's what I'm looking for. Hydraulic pistons. Did we clear this area? Possibly. We should get a few more pistons in here, though. All right. Let's get a move on. We only managed to kill a few, though, which is pretty unfortunate. So I'm thinking, for the sake of, as much as I would like to get more pistons, I can do that in my own time. And rather than dealing with some tougher enemies, we may as well deal with easier enemies. So I'm thinking of going to the Slaver territory and seeing if we can just deal with enemies there. And quite often the heavies in the Slaver territories, they don't even have shields, right? So I think maybe around here, possibly. Although that might be Sandfly's territory, and I'm pretty sure the heavies and the melee enemies are shielded. So yeah, I'm just looking for some really, really easy targets. Yeah, maybe just over here. Even the Atreides deserters, they might be relatively easy to deal with. Okay, here are some traders. Sorry, not traders, slavers, rather. Okay, they are shielded, but I think we managed to break through their shields. Hold still. Hold still while I bazooka you. Alright, hopefully that didn't damage the ornithopter, actually. That was a little bit close. Do I still have the ammo for it? Got 8 more. Are we about halfway? Possibly. Do I need more ammo? Maybe. Oh no, I'm definitely gonna need more ammo now. I've got 5 shots, I think, including what I have in the reserve ammo. Maybe we can do it. Unless I miss one of these shots. If I can get like 2 in 1, that would be very helpful. Maybe if I can get like a bunch of them, use the voice to stun all of them in the same location. Maybe we can kill a few of them with one missile. So I think the sabotage lets you prevent enemies from calling in reinforcements. I think that's the way it works. Yeah, I'm trying to get these guys to bunch up. Oh man, that was our chance right there. Okay, I just need one more. Come on. And please don't miss. Yes, okay, cool. Oh, with one missile to spare. Alright, I think we're done here. Don't need to kill them all, I don't think. So, gonna head back to base, and I think that's it for missions. Let's pivot to some decorating, and we'll see what we can achieve. Alright, we are back. Time to really think about what we want to do in this space, this corner specifically. So, We have a library on this side. What else do we have? I'm not entirely sure. Let me take a look at our options here. So obviously we just want all of the furnishings and all that sort of stuff. Firstly, do we need more carpets and stuff? That is probably something that I should have thought about before placing all of this stuff down in the library, actually. We could have placed a nice rug in this spot. So, yeah, that's a little bit painful if we have to sort of move stuff around. I wish there was a way to just simply place a carpet down below all the objects that you've already placed. Yeah, I wish there was a way to just simply place it below all of the objects and not have to do it in order. Well, with that in mind, let's maybe start with something like that initially. Or do we even need one? Starting to think about whether or not it's even needed. What did we do on this side? We did actually have some carpets there as well. Yeah. Maybe I'm gonna have to come back and redo all of this. So if I place something like that down though, will that get in the way of things like partitions? Yeah, okay, it shouldn't, right? So you should be able to place partitions down. So I'm thinking we want a couple of partitions just to replicate what we've got going on that side. There. Alright, you can actually see that the height does change a little bit because of the carpet. So yeah, I suppose I'm okay with that. It's only just slight. And I guess that's probably the reason why you can't just simply place the carpet down below, because that changes the height of everything. Yeah, I reckon between episodes I might do some work on seeing whether or not a carpet is needed on that side. So if we're wanting to make things a little bit more consistent, then I feel like maybe we should have carpets there as well. But with that in place, we now have the ability to sort of add a few bits and pieces here, or we should add a few bits and pieces with the main components already there. So how do we decorate this space? I'd say maybe we want to use some of these commodes. And we can then sort of place a few other things on top of it. So furnishings. I'm sort of just playing around with these things, guys, and throwing stuff at the wall, so to speak, and seeing what sticks. Oh. Okay. Seriously, the game needs to stop doing this sort of stuff where, like, it almost gives you false hope that you can place certain things down when, in fact, you can't. Okay, it works over there. So, yeah, this is an interesting idea. I'm thinking of doing, obviously a furniture set here. But instead of having things exactly symmetrical, we're sort of having flipped symmetry on each side. So we want yeah, something like that. I think that could work well. We probably just need to reposition the table a little bit. Make it a little bit more central. That doesn't look half bad. And I think that should give us a little bit of room in the corners to, you know, add a few embellishments here and there. So that's decent. Again, I'm still trying to think of whether or not we're going to need some form of lighting. I feel like this space is a little bit dark, so could use some lighting, I reckon. I'm not sure what I'm doing here, next to the pillar, guys. That's just me sort of playing around and not knowing what to do. It seems like we're, again, still running out of granite. Oh, actually, hang on. Yeah, sorry, this is all granite stone. Sorry, I can't make plastone, so... I'm hoping I have enough granite stone for what we want to do. I think we should have enough, hopefully, if I don't build, like, too much furniture. But then there's also decorations and stuff that we need to play around with. So, again, having a play around with these outside corner benches, just to see what we might be able to achieve with it. Because we could perhaps maybe create like some kind of a circle, and maybe we could decorate the center of it. Something like that. Does it make sense though? I don't know. I mean, there goes our granite, guys. I might need to go out and fetch some granite, which, I mean, it shouldn't really be too difficult. There's plenty of granite nearby, I think. Would I be able to place a Solido? Yeah, okay. So look at that. You could perhaps maybe do something like that. This almost feels like it's a hotel lobby. where you're sort of waiting for people. I don't mind the look of it though. Doesn't look too bad. I mean, that's just my opinion. Perhaps maybe some of you guys might think this looks pretty horrendous. I don't know. I'm kind of warming up to the idea, guys. It might be nice to just, you know, have something right in the middle here. Or we could just keep the middle absolutely clear, because that's what we did on this side, right? Maybe. Yeah, maybe instead of focusing on doing anything on this side, maybe we should just really focus on what's going on here. Okay, I'm gonna need some granite though. Okay guys, I've got the granite. Let's just quickly pop all of that in. So, for a scout, there we go. Alright, so that should fuel our decoration a little bit more. And while I was out collecting the granite, I sort of had to think about what we were building. I definitely want to keep this front area in front of the door clear. So yeah, I mean, we played around with the idea. It was a decent idea. If our base looked a little bit differently, I reckon perhaps maybe we could have used that idea somewhere. But I think for now, I kind of want to keep some consistency between that side and this side, and we're probably just going to remove all of this. And yeah, we'll keep that idea in the back pocket. I mean, there's the manufacturing tower, which we now know requires a little bit more decorating. Actually, one thing that I forgot to do is to just throw a whole bunch of stuff into storage here. So let me just quickly do that, so we're not constantly fighting for space in our inventory. Dust goes in there, and we'll learn that. Everything else, maybe except for the Solari, can stay. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's demolish these, and let's continue playing around with this side. So if we've got one table that looks, or sorry, not one table, but one sort of set of furniture that looks like this. Perhaps maybe we want to sort of replicate that by perhaps maybe just one more over this side, and I think I'll be pretty satisfied with that. And this can be, you know, yet again another lounge area. So let's do it. I'm just trying to arrange things so that it makes sense for people to be able to get through and reach the table and chairs that they need to reach, if that makes sense. Okay, that looks decent. We'll just get all of the pieces in first, and then we'll come back and rearrange, move things slightly if we need to. Just looking for that table. Now, as I was preparing for this episode, guys, I did take a look at examples, you know, some people sort of showing off their bases on YouTube, trying to get myself inspired, you know. And I started to notice that I've got a whole bunch of missing, like, furniture and missing, like, decorative items. And I only just realized that there are certain things that you, well, a player like me who didn't pre-order or buy, like, the deluxe edition, we don't have access to. Which is a bit of a shame, because some of the nicer looking items are locked behind that. So, and I am referring to things like the Caledonian set. So there's a Caledonian, like, I think tableware set, and maybe even some Solido holograms as well, that you can only get if you had bought, I think, either DLC or if you bought like a different edition of the game. Oh my goodness! All right, things are not really sitting very well for whatever reason. Yeah, okay, we're getting one of those weird situations where things are not wanting to be placed properly. If I move this slightly to that side, because I'm sort of just trying to match what we've got going on over here. So it should start, well, this should start right in the middle of that. The edge of this, or the corner of this piece. And then I'm gonna see if I can move this into place, which I can. Alright, and then now can I get this into place, because this might be the difficult part. Probably not. I think they're probably a little bit too close. Let's just have a look at how much space we've got between these two pieces of furnishings, these two seats. And there is a little bit more space now that I think about it, right? So now the camera angle is not doing us any favors. So, is that enough space? I don't think so. I think we probably do need a little bit more space, so let's just pull that back a little bit further. Maybe something like that. I don't know. I feel like we can give it a little bit more breathing room. There? I don't know. I get the feeling that we haven't given it enough space still. But this sort of aligns well with the partition, doesn't it? So, as you're walking through this area, you can still get through here and get through here. So if I pull it back even further, it might not be as nice. It might not replicate that exactly, but I think for functionality, I think it makes a bit of sense. Unless we can't get this table in which case then we're going to have to maybe give it even more space, which I think we're forced to do, really. So, let's do it. Maybe there? Okay, table, please. Okay. We definitely need a little bit more. So, unless, should I be placing down the table first? Maybe that might help. I don't know. I don't think it makes a difference. Okay. Come on. You've got to fit. Really? I wonder if I should be pushing some of these back, because that could be another option as well. Let's see. Can we get this in, please? Oh, okay, finally. Now, in terms of positioning though, I'm not entirely sure how we need to position this exactly. And just looking at what we've got going on here, this is not exactly symmetrical, is it? So I could probably push this there. And that's probably a little bit more central. And we probably need to do something similar here. Okay, brilliant. I think we have achieved what we needed to achieve. I think in terms of the positioning, things look okay. I'm just thinking about what we need to put in terms of decorations on top of these surfaces, and also lighting, right? Because it's a little dark in here, and I feel like we probably do need at least one more light here. I'm thinking a suspensor light just in this position. Perhaps maybe we can rotate it a little bit. That should give enough lighting for both tables. I don't think it's in the way of us trying to get around, which is good. We only have one more light to work with as well, so I don't know if we can steal any more lights from other places, but let's think about that later. Decorations. So we want some ornamental items here, so I'm thinking another one of these. Another one of these. And yeah, the wall just seems a little empty, so I feel like perhaps maybe we need to get something on the wall. Do we want more fish? Maybe. I wish there was a few more options at this stage, rather than using some of the same decorative items, but we don't exactly have the option, so that's okay. If it ever comes around, and if we ever return to the game by then I'll play around with it, but that's all we can play around with. Or I could get in the Chome sculpture. Yeah, maybe. That returns some agave seeds to us as well, which I might want to use in a different way. Okay, and I think I might want to just tidy this up a little bit. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. So I like the idea of being able to hide our sub-thief control unit a little bit, but I don't know what to do with this space. I like the idea that we can actually go through when we need to, but then at the same time, I feel like maybe it doesn't need to be this complicated. Maybe we can rethink this entire area. So another way we could do things is we could sort of keep the sub-thief here. Maybe even hide it behind a door. So if we use like a door piece like that, yeah, that might not be a bad thing. So when we do need to access it, we just sort of approach. Then maybe we sort of rethink all of this. Because what I'm thinking is maybe it might not be a bad idea to take this and have that up there instead of the chome decoration. Let's just add a little bit more here. Okay, that looks decent. And then just in the corner here, I think we could probably add a few different things here. We haven't exactly placed down any of the plant solitos anywhere, have we? So it could be a thing that we play around with. Let's add that. Alright. Yeah, not a bad looking space if you ask me, so I'm pretty satisfied with what we've got going here. I think this is going to be the end of the episode, guys. I'm thinking maybe when we come back in the next one, we focus on this room up here, which is... yeah, I'm not entirely sure what to call this room and what to do with the room, as usual. We do have a bit of an observatory here where we can sort of take a look at the sandcrawler in its glory. But perhaps maybe this could be a bit of a planning room of some sorts. Maybe. We'll have a think about it. Because we do already have like a briefing area in one of the rooms in the manufacturing tower. So, yeah. Gotta consider quite a few things. Just before I finish up, as I said, we do have the replica pulse sword available to manufacture. And I do have enough dust for young Sparky as well, so perhaps maybe in the next episode we can have a play around with manufacturing those items and obviously continuing with a few more missions to tidy up and a few more decorations. Thanks for sticking around, guys. Do appreciate you guys being here. Drop a like down below if you've enjoyed the playthrough. Stay true, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.